The Merchant's Promise, a Tale of Truthfulness. In the bustling streets of ancient Baghdad, where the aroma of spices filled the air and merchants called out their wares beneath the golden sun, lived a humble cloth merchant named Yunus. His small shop, tucked between a perfumer and a coppersmith, was known not for its grandeur, but for something far more precious, the absolute truthfulness of its owner. Yunus had learned the value of honesty from his father, who would often quote the hadith of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Truthfulness leads to righteousness, and righteousness leads to paradise. A person keeps on telling the truth until they are recorded with Allah as truthful. One scorching summer day, as the marketplace buzzed with activity, a wealthy merchant from Damascus arrived at Yunus's shop. The man wore fine silks and carried himself with an air of importance. He was seeking the finest fabrics for his daughter's wedding and had heard tales of Yunus's exceptional cloth from travellers. "I require the most exquisite silk in all of Baghdad," the merchant declared, laying a heavy purse of gold on the counter. Money is no object. Yunus examined his inventory carefully. Among his collection was a bolt of silk so fine it seemed to flow like water, its deep blue colour reminiscent of the night sky. Many merchants would have immediately presented this piece, but Yunus noticed a small flaw, a barely visible weaving irregularity near one edge. The wealthy merchant lifted the silk and marvelled at its beauty. "This is perfect. I shall take the entire bolt." Here was Yunus's test. The flaw was so minor that none would likely notice it, and the sale would bring him enough profit to support his family for months. But the path of truthfulness called to him, clear as the morning adhan. "Respected sir," Yunus said, his heart pounding but his voice steady, "before you make your decision, I must show you something." He carefully pointed out the imperfection, knowing full well he risked losing the sale. The Damascus merchant's expression changed from disappointment to surprise, then to something deeper or respect. "In all my years of trade, I have never met a merchant so honest about such a minor flaw. Tell me, Yunus, what compels you to be so truthful in your dealings?" Yunus smiled gently and replied, "Allah sees all things, great and small. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us that the truthful merchant will be among the martyrs on the day of judgment. What profit would I gain if I earned your gold but lost something far more precious why, Allah's pleasure?" The wealthy merchant was silent for a long moment. Then, to Yusuf's astonishment, he doubled his original offer. "I will take this silk, minor flaw and all, but more importantly, I wish to learn from you. My caravans travel across the Islamic world, and I have seen how rare such honesty is. Would you consider a partnership? Together, we could establish a trade network built on the foundation of absolute truthfulness." Word of their partnership spread throughout Baghdad and beyond. Their business flourished not because they sold the finest goods, though they did, but because people knew they could trust every word spoken by Yunus and his new partner. Other merchants began to emulate their practice of absolute honesty, and soon the marketplace itself began to transform. Years later, when Yunus's hair had turned white and his grandchildren played in the same shop where his story began, young merchants would seek his advice. To them, he would always say, "Wealth comes and goes like the desert winds, but truthfulness builds a legacy that endures. When you speak the truth, you speak with the voice of your faith." The tale of Yunus the truthful merchant was passed down through generations in Baghdad. Parents would tell it to their children, reminding them that success built on honesty, though perhaps slower to achieve, stands stronger than the tallest palace. In the annals of the city's history, many wealthy merchants were forgotten, but Yunus's name remained, not for the wealth he accumulated, but for the simple power of his unwavering truthfulness. His story became a testament to the Quranic teaching. "O you who believe, fear Allah and be with those who are truthful." 9:119. The lessons of his life taught that truthfulness was not merely about avoiding lies, it was about living in such a way that every word and action reflected the divine truth that resided in the heart. His legacy reminded all who heard his story that in the grand tapestry of existence, truthfulness was not just a virtue to admire, but a path to walk, step by step, word by word, trade by trade, until one's very life became a testament to the beauty of living in accordance with divine guidance. And so, in the streets of Baghdad, where his story first unfolded, merchants would greet each other with the phrase, "Be true like Yunus," understanding that in those simple words lay the secret to both worldly honor and eternal success.